Okay. Now we have more Buckeyes. We got Cade Stover, Denzel Burke Cade Stover. Is an improving linebacker, has potential to be a great linebacker at Ohio State. You have Denzel Burke, who has the potential to be, the next great cornerback. He's a lot of people already give him that credit as the next great corner. A potential first round pick. Whenever he comes out, they're now saying that the practice that they're experiencing. I'm just trying to paraphrase it. Is that what they're doing now in practice is like they've been here. Well, they've had experience at Ohio State before, and in their previous experiences that they had in terms of practice, in terms of following a season, you're obviously trying to prepare, potentially for a spring game, and then their entire schedule throughout the year. They haven't experienced what they're experiencing now in practice. So it's like, on one hand, as a fan, obviously you want your team to obviously get better. But the question I'm more under is like, where was this at last year? Where was this at last year? That now they're on the practice that they're saying that the practices that they're doing now is just way a lot more, different, than previous practices, and even not Ohio State, but where they played football before, they have never practiced like this before, and obviously it's going to be bad, for Notre Dame. I'm taking it one game at a time. I learned my lesson. We can't look towards the end. We got to look towards one game at a time. It's going to be very bad for Notre Dame. But, I think you live, you learn, you reflect, and you grow. And I think that's what Ryan Day, Coach Day has done. He's lived, he's learned, he's reflected, he's grown. He's transitioning, more towards some of the guys that he's recruiting. Some of Urban Meyer's guys, or even though he was on the staff, but, him being the head coach, his guys, he's having a bigger impact on the coaching staff. It's kind of turning into Ryan Day's program. He's not really having that Urban Meyer, over his shoulder as a head coach. And now he's not messing around. And the coaches that he has in place and what they're having these guys doing is trying to win a trying to, be successful and get to the biggest goal, and obviously to be prepared for Notre Dame. It's a legit question. What have y'all, you live, you learn, reflect, and you reflect and you grow and say, okay, these are steps that we're taking out. That we need to do in order to beat that team up north, in order to be on our A game against, like we've seen against a Michigan State team, be on our A game. Maybe play a lot better against Penn State. But this is I love it. Maybe not for them. Obviously, I think, obviously, if you're a former athlete or any athlete, practice is not always going to be easy. But you would like sometimes some easy days, and it's not seeing like they're getting any easy days. And, it's going to be very bad for Notre Dame. It's going to be very bad. These other teams working, but it's seeming like Ohio State has these guys working at a level that they never seen before. And to beat the best, you got to work hard, And, that team up north, they obviously beat us last year. Their fans like to acknowledge it, even though we did beat them in basketball. And we did beat them in basketball. Let me just put that in there just so they can remember that. If they're not working hard, it's going to be very bad. But Notre Dame, they better be working hard first, because this Ohio State team and these coaches, they're on a mission. And they're not, whatever happened before in the previous year, Notre Dame, Coach Freeman, I love you. But it ain't looking too good for you guys. Obviously, spring game is coming up. But, yeah, Ohio State's working hard. You got to get big shout out to the coaches. Big shout out to Coach Mick. He has these guys working. And a team like Ohio State, hungry, working hard, working harder than they have been in previous years. Because we've seen not just last year, but there's been instances, especially, at the end of Urban Meyer's final year there, the team they didn't always look the best. To see that they're getting to a level that even Coach Meyer didn't have them at. And even though Urban Meyer had them in contention each and every year for the playoff, we would stub ours. It would always be a team in a way. We would lose to Iowa, Purdue. We would find ways to lose to teams that we shouldn't lose to. Play a close game against Maryland. This team is going to be locked in. And, for me, I love it. I love it. I love it. For these other teams, I don't think they're going to love it, especially Notre Dame. One game at a time. You can't look too far. Look past the schedule, look past anyone. But, man, this is great for the Buckeyes. For everybody else, I don't know. Denzel Burke working even harder? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, it's one day at a time. One day at a time, but go Bucks.